Um, I updated my YouTube channel. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the chat, but my YouTube channel is just my name. I think if you just go onto YouTube and Google Leah McDonald, you should be able to go to my site, and I'll send Edwina a direct link. But the videos are all on there from every class, and you're more than welcome to watch any of the other videos that I have on there. They're just going to be about art. I don't use the YouTube channel for anything else but art. And some of them are private lessons with artists. I mean, just depending on your interest level. Most of them are mixed media or encaustic arts. But they are on there.
You say it's on YouTube?
Yeah, under my name. I don't have another, it's just Leah McDonald for my YouTube channel. But I recorded all the sessions from our classes, and I think they're all on there. I have 2 more I need to upload. And then they will all be on there. Also, all the slideshows that I sent everybody, I can also send, share them with Edwina, and then she can share them with you. So I think as long as you have a Gmail email address, you can view the slideshows in Google. Okay, and then they're also, the slideshows are probably also on the recording. So if I showed a slideshow, it would probably appear on the YouTube recording as part of the YouTube recording. So you could, and then you can pause those recordings if you want to stop the image to see something specific. Does anybody have any questions about that?
You just have to have an email, a Gmail?
Well, you can, if I share the links to the stuff that I have on my Google Drive, it's easier to, I'm not sure if you can see it if you don't have a Gmail address.
Oh, okay.
So, but Gmail is free. I mean, you can have a Gmail address and just use it for the Google Drive. I actually use Google for a lot of things, including like photography storage. I actually keep a lot of pictures and things in the Google Drive. And I use the album system, which helps me organize my photos by subject matter. So if I'm looking to collage people or houses or landscapes, I can look into my folders and keep that. Okay, so let me just share, based on last week's slideshow, I'm just gonna go ahead and pin myself, and I made this collage, as I said I would, right? And if you guys want me to, I can sort of go through exactly how I made it. I really like this idea. It kind of stuck with me after I showed it, and then I really wanted to make my own. And what was interesting was that I definitely had criteria of things that I wanted to put into the collage. So you can see, here's one of my trees, right? Can everybody see one of my trees that I made with the walnut ink?
Yep.
And
nice.
then here, these are circles that I cut out from my jelly plate printing, because I felt like, you know, part of our life experience is sort of these, I know a lot of people refer them as like rotations around the sun, right? Like every year you have a birthday, and some people call those birthdays, you know, completed missions of rotations around, right? So I also put 4 skulls here because there's 4 members of my family that live or were born or have lived a long time in my house that I know of. There possibly could be more people. I mean, there was people that lived there before me, but this is like my family. So I found these skulls. I thought that was interesting. Here's my symbol for my house, right? And then this is I always have a dog. I always have a dog. This is not my dog, but I didn't care that it wasn't my dog. These are like sort of my visions of, you know, my mind or my imagination. And then I just like the swans here. We have a lot of birds at our house. Every year in the springtime, for about 2 weeks a year, every year we get like, I'm not joking, like over 100 or 200 robins that come to our house every year consistently, and they do whatever they do on my trees and my neighbors' trees. We don't even have that many trees. We have like 3 trees and some trees behind us, but they come to our block. So I just put the birds there, and they also just sort of remind me of, you know, that might just being at my house. And then this is supposed to be like me. I mean, but you know, it's not exactly me. And then this is meant to be like all the things in my memory. So I think too, when you show a face and you open up somebody's head, it's always really interesting. So if you want, I can show you quickly how I kind of set this up. If you guys want me to do that, or if you feel confident, we can talk about your work today. This is our last meeting period that we're going to get together. This is our last Monday class time. And I can't believe these 10 sessions have gone so fast. So
I know.
I'm so sad they're over. But this was kind of cute. So I have a student, I have a 6th grade student. Her name is Tylia, and she likes to cut all of her classes. She won't stay in her classroom, but she likes to come to my classroom. And this was hers, right? So she, you know, sat with me and we did these together. So I taught her basically the same steps, and this was how hers turned out. So I'm not exactly sure, you know, what the bear, you know, you'd have to talk to Tylia about the bear or all these scary eyes, or, but these are the things, these are things that are going in Tylia's head right now. Anyway, or they were last week, so they probably have already changed. But I also thought maybe that these 2 pieces were like and I think I kind of like them together. I mean, maybe even like I like them together. So if you guys have more than one piece that you feel like you want to submit to the senior center, you can. And then if I don't end up using it in the final, I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do the final piece yet. Part of me feels like I might scan everybody's work, but I really do like these. Do you guys like these pieces together?
Yeah, they're nice, very nice.
Or do you like just this? Which one? Or just this one? Or just this one?
They're nice together.
I like them together. I feel like the color palette is really nice together, and it's sort of like black and white. I mean, and it's almost like my vision of my house and then my actual house. I don't know. I kind of like that comparison. Does anybody feel like they have more than one piece that they'd like to submit?
I do, but I'm still working on the second one.
Me
Okay.
too.
Okay. So maybe what I'm gonna do too is maybe I'm gonna scan everybody's pieces and then return them to you. And then use like a reproduction of the pieces to make the final artwork. So that's a possibility too. And then you guys could have your pieces back. I just don't want you to feel like you can't submit your best work because you're afraid that you won't get it back. Do you know what I mean? If you feel, so let's just say that I'm gonna scan them and then return them back to the senior center like within a month, okay?
That's a good idea.
Okay, and I think that way everybody can submit their best work. So you guys have about a half an hour with me, and I'm open. I'm totally here for you. What would you like me to show you? I can do the walnut ink again. I could do the construction of this imagine like this piece. I could give you the steps of how I put it together. I mean, this could be interesting. I can do more with the walnut ink, or I could even do a little more with the jelly plate. Does anybody have a preference?
I like the jelly plate that you could use maybe a little bit.
I like the jelly too.
You guys like to watch me do the jelly plates?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have anything in particular that they want me to do? Do you want me to do patterning? Do you want me to do a semic writing? Do you want me to do anything in particular?
No, it's fine. Anything you do.
Okay. Did you guys want to do the, go ahead.
I've had you mention, is the one you just did, you had mentioned doing something where the body was the house? Is that like the one you just did?
This was my body. This is my head. The house is in my head.
Okay, all right,
This was
that's all I wanted to know.
Yep, this was my interpretation of the body. But technically, that's a really good question, Sue Ann. So technically, like you could have done this with any photo of a woman's body. You could have, done the house as in her heart, like depending on where you put the house. This is actually a house that came from a painting by Moreau. So it's like a paint, it just happened to be in a magazine on an article about a house, and it looks similar. It looks very similar to my house in many ways. Just my house is kind of like a standard 2-story rectangle. There's nothing like really that fancy about my house. But also, like, I put the TV in there. I grew up on TV. I mean, it's just it's kind of fun when you make a collage or you think about yourself. It's interesting the things that you pick that really are a part of your life. I mean, I've always watched a lot of TV with my family, and we watch TV together. It's like when you sort of get to the like nuts and bolts of what really makes up your life, it's fun to pick images that describe that. It could be something silly, like, my brother and I, when we were growing up, we ate a lot of TV dinners, because our parents were never home for dinner time or didn't want to cook during the week. So we ate like steakums, cheesesteaks, and TV dinner. So like when I hear steakums or TV, I think of my childhood and growing up in my house, because there were things that were like we did every day, It's just kind of fun. Or even like baked beans, So like if you saw a picture of a can of baked beans, like that might really make you think about being at home because it was something that created that, was part of that environment, right? So sometimes it can be very literal, the memories, or they can be more abstract in feelings. But I'm happy to get out the jelly plate. Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll do just some quick printing for you for our last class. And I'm gonna go ahead. Does anybody have anything else they want to share? I'm fine. Just doing the jelly plate printing, that's great. Remember that I need you all to submit at least one piece of your artwork on a board, right, with your name on it. So let's make sure you put a label. Make sure you put a label on the back with your first and last name, your phone number, and your email address, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually physically scan or photograph your artwork, and I'm not going to use your original artwork. I'm going to have it take it back. I'm going to take it back to the center. I'm going to take it back to the senior center, okay? And then you can pick it up, right? And yes, okay, is everybody clear? Yes, Sue-Ann.
When do you want it to be at the senior center by?
I would love it by the end of March. I mean, today is the 21st. Today's the 21st, and I would love it there by, let's say it's due April 4th. That's 2 weeks from today. Is that okay? Can
Good.
everybody meet that deadline?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. And if you are having trouble getting to the senior center or getting your piece of artwork to the senior center, please contact me or Edwina, and we will make arrangements to make sure we get your piece, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There should be 8 of us. 8 pieces of artwork for sure. And I don't care if they're horizontal or vertical, okay? So just pick your favorite one. And if you want to submit more than one, you can, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna
Leanne.
return to, all right.
Leanne, what did you say you wanted all the artwork by the end of
April 4th.
before April the 4th?
Or yeah, the due date is, but anytime between now and April the 4th.
Okay. They
Okay.
can return it to the center.
Yep, they're gonna bring it to the center.
Okay.
Yep, 2 weeks. So I'm gonna do a little, so I'm at school and I bought can everybody, is the lighting? Okay. Okay, I'm at school. So I bought some really fun stuff. Remember how when I was at home and I first did the jelly plate printing? I used like credit stuff from my house. Wait, hold on. Am I the biggest picture? Oh, am I
Yeah,
the
you are.
biggest picture? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are some tools that I bought for the students here. Foam brushes. This is like a texture, maybe could even be used for baking. These are also little texture making pads. So this one has AstroTurf on it. This one has like a scrubby brush end, right? This one has lines in it. Now you could even probably make these by taking things that you find around the house and gluing them to cardboard. I also have like stencils, right? Stencils. And this is a doily. Does anybody use doilies?
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I know. So the doilies are really cool for the jelly plate print. So I can use the doily. So you can kind of get a feel of all the sort of like commonplace kind of objects I have here. You could definitely use even a sponge, right? And then these are some rubber stampers, right? So the stampers can be, they can have any kind of pattern. Even they could be an address stamper. Also, feathers are really cool for jelly plate printing, as well as string, right? So remember how we talked about sort of like miscellaneous objects that you might have in the kitchen drawer. So what other types of miscellaneous objects might you have? You might have rubber bands, staples, buttons, right? You might have sewing thread, needles, saran wrap, even bubble wrap, right? Work. So here's a little pile of all the beautiful stuff that we can use in the jelly plate printing. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the plates. And I use, I use the craft paint, right? I love the craft paint. Okay, so here's the jelly plates. I also, I love to print on different types of paper. So I'm never, here's a jelly plate. I'm gonna move this over here. So here's my stuff. Here's my jelly plate. And then I always prep myself because I know I'm gonna print a lot once I started. So this is like, and remember, you could print on anything. You could print on the old letters. This is just regular drawing paper. This is tracing paper, right? So tracing paper is cool because if I make a pattern on it, then I could still, use it to draw with, right? So here's some tracing paper and also construction paper. So black, right? You could use black paper. You could use the newsprint pad I gave you, right? So here we have 4 different types of paper, right? So 4 different types of paper. And then you could try colors if you wanted to try different colored construction paper, right? So I can throw color in there. Also, I like this brown paper, right? And remember, where can you find this brown paper? In your house. Everybody has it. Where can you find it? On the web. What do we use at the grocery store?
Brown paper bags.
Brown paper bags, exactly. So you could cut up the brown paper bag, exactly, and use the brown paper bag. And that could be like, right, you could use the envelope, you could use old envelopes, right? I mean, you could really start to think about being very utilitarian and trying not to waste anything and really using the supplies that you have around the house. Another thing that we could, if we had like 2 more weeks, there was one more thing we could have done. There's an artist that I actually found out about when I went to New York, but he literally, has anybody ever done any rubbing? So I bought these for the kids. These are actually they're manufactured rubbing, but they're just textured tiles. And you can take a crayon, you can take crayons or anything, and you could start to begin your sort of pattern making or texture. So what the artist that I was going to tell you about, he was Asian, and I'll send you his name. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he literally rubbed an entire room with a crayon. So he basically made a copy of the room. So like, you know, you could rub like a wall, right? So you could literally, I mean, you could literally rub your house, right? You can basically create art. I mean, this is basically this is literally a piece of my room, right? So this is like, this doesn't get many more, like this is literally a piece of my room. Did you guys see what I did? So I rubbed the wall of my classroom, right? I mean, technically I could rub other parts of the classroom, right? I mean, if you really wanted to get into it, right? This is my heater vent. Do you see what I'm doing? So I'm taking the crayon, I'm putting the paper actually on the walls, right? So this is literally my wall. This is my heater vent. I could probably I can rub my lock. So this guy, this cuckoo artist, he rubbed like everything. He rubbed like the whole room. But like, this is my lock, right? That's my lock on my door. It looks like two eyes, right? Okay, so this is something fun. All you would need to do this, to rub your house or whatever, your kitchen, your tiled floor. Maybe you even live in an older house that has like some type of embossed like tile or tin, right? They used to make a lot of houses out of tin. So you just need a crayon and you're gonna rub it. So I did that first. I can also, before I even start printing, these are the ones that I bought. So these are the rubbings that I bought for the kids. So let's just see what else I have. I got this one, right, which is cool. It makes that, what does that look like? That looks like a fingerprint. I can try the circle one. Oh, I like that one. That one's really cool. These you can probably buy these at any art store, especially like a craft store. So it's kind of the same thing that the jelly plate printing does, but these are directly on the page. And these are the kinds of textures that we as humans live with all the time, right? We see these kinds of textures basically all the time, right? In concrete, in food, in packaging, right? In the buildings we live in. So these are just kind of an example of these sort of abstract textures. All right, so now I'm gonna use these. I did these sort of under drawings. I'm gonna use these with the jelly plate. So does anybody have a favorite color that they're feeling today? Does anybody have a color?
How about blue?
Okay, what color blue? I got light blue, dark blue.
Light blue.
Okay, so I've got this nice, the Azteca, right? I don't think I bought you guys Azteca, but if you do buy your own paint, I highly recommend this brand. It's AZT, wait, it's, oh, I'm sorry, it's Arteza, ARTEZA. A couple, ooh, hello. That was way too much paint. So a couple things to remember with the jelly plate is that you just don't want, see how much paint I just put on there? Way too much paint. You just don't want quite that much paint, right? So I'm gonna actually grab another plate. I'm just gonna grab another plate. I'm gonna put a little bit of this paint on the other plate. And you can use your foam brush, right? Or your brayer to get the paint on the jelly plate. You can also mix the paint on the jelly plate. And theoretically, like if you're using a brush to paint onto the jelly plate, you can literally make a little abstract painting on the jelly plate, right? So you need to be conscious of the thickness of the paint. And you can make the paint thin or thick on the plate and still be able to pull a print. I don't know why. So I'm just trying to find a light color. So I'm gonna make a little abstract painting here on the plate. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow. And if I really mix these two colors, yellow and blue, I would get what? Like a light green,
Green.
right?
Green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would get a light green. Excellent. So, but maybe I just wanna like make them more abstract. So even these little dots that I'm doing all around could be kind of fun. I don't have to feel obligated to mix, or I don't have to feel like I have to do anything. I could absolutely paint this. I could absolutely print this just like this, right? It looks kind of like Easter eggs. It's very spring-like, kind of reminds me of the daffodils popping up around the neighborhood. So I'm just gonna pull a print directly from whatever I just put on there, okay? Now, when the paint is thicker, the pull is gonna be a little bit thicker and it might be a little bit messier, right? So it might actually look something like this, more like an abstract painting than exactly, well, it still looks like a print to me, but there's a lot of loose paint on there because I used the paint so thick, right? And I didn't use what? I didn't use the brayer, right? So now if I use the brayer, what's gonna happen to the paint? It's gonna what? It's gonna blend together, right? And it's gonna make it much, much smoother. If I use the brayer, it's gonna blend together and it's gonna make a much smoother texture, almost like more of like a flat texture. But at any time that you see something that you like, did you guys see what I just did too? Like I went
Yeah.
on one plate and I got the polka dots and then I transferred them over here. So it's kind of like whenever you see something that you like, you can just go ahead and lay the paper down on it and pull it up. Right? So you should be able to get a couple prints for every single layer of paint. So see how you went ahead and did like another piece of paper? Like you just don't have to stop. It's kind of nice that way. You can just keep on going. All right, so this from this plate, this was the first print I got. And that was the second print I got.
Yeah,
And
they came out nice.
they did. And they still kind of look like jelly beans. They still remind me of jelly beans. All right, but look, I still have this yellow one over here, right? And even when the plate appears to be dirty, you can just still print on it. You don't have to clean it. Don't feel like you have to wash your plate all the time, right? And honestly, you should just be washing your plate with sanitary wipes, like just the little wipes from the box, either the Clorox, any type, any brand is fine. It's not that good to wash your plate with soap and water because the soap actually dries it out. Okay, so theoretically for all of my prints, unless I'm gonna collage with these, I basically consider them like not finished. My average, for a print is probably like 3 or 4 times that I print the same piece of paper. So I feel like I just get more out of it. Also, I might want to change my color palette, right? Because I had all those pastel-y colors as my first layer. So let's try something contrasty to a pastel-y color. Could be a green, a dark green, right? Or a brown or a purple, right? Let's see. Oh, I have purple. Let's try purple. I could also do black, but I don't want to do black. I could do dark green or purple. What do you guys think? Green?
Purple.
Purple. Okay. Let's see if I have any purple. These bottles. I'm gonna go ahead with the purple. Okay, I got the nice purple. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use my brayer and see how I have extra. I can tell already I have extra paint. So I have 2 jelly plates. Right? So you could always go ahead and buy yourself another one. They are available through Amazon. They're available at Michael. Oh, I don't know if Michael sells them, but I'm sure Blick sells them. And actually Jelly Arts are made in Philadelphia. So they're a woman-owned company right here in our very own city. Okay, so now I'm
I saw
gonna
them
use,
in Artisan's Craft.
what?
I saw them in Artisan Craftsman.
Oh, great, yeah. Oh, good, yeah, excellent. So notice too, I always roll the brayer off, and these brayer roll-offs I often enjoy too, because now I have like a dark purple background just from the brayer. All right, so I'm gonna do the doily. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the doily down on one side, and I'm just gonna press it lightly with my hand. I'm gonna lift it up, and it made a little bit of an impression, and then I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on the other side. And I'm gonna take this nice light yellow, right? Yellow print I made. And I'm gonna put the purple over it. So I have sort of the impression of it on one side and then I have the actual doily on the right and just the impression of it on the left. Let's see what we got. And I'm rubbing it pretty hard. This is the tracing paper, right? So it's nice and thin. Remember, what other papers did we talk about? We talked about maybe doing wax paper. And so look how beautiful that is.
It's beautiful.
Right, and it's beautiful for a couple of reasons. Anybody tell me why it's beautiful? Because of what, do you think? Starts with a C. My C word. It has a lot of what?
Color,
Contrast.
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 Right, it has a lot of contrast, and it also shows off sort of that positive and negative space, right? So it's beautiful because it really feels like you can see something. Now, once I pull the doily up, it's gonna leave a memory. Do you guys see? Can you see it? So this is actually this. And look how
Yeah.
cool now it makes a circle, right? But it's like kind of like it's half there, it's half positive, half negative, right? That's pretty cool. I like that. All right, so let's do that. Do you want me to do that again?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was with the doily, right? So here I have the purple again. I have the doily. First I imprinted it. I'll do it backward. I'll do it this
Yeah,
way.
I know.
I imprinted it like this, right? So I laid it down on the paint and pressed it a little bit, and it left a little bit of a memory there. And then if I actually just put it down here and leave it on here, I can take this white, I'm gonna take this white one with the texture on it, and I'm gonna put it face down, and I should get a pretty good contrast off of this one too. So wherever the doily is, it's gonna block the paint from the paper, and you're just gonna get that nice outside line. I'm gonna do this again with another object. So any object you could think of that's pretty flat. You can also make things, right? You could cut your own stencils. You could make stuff. So here's a little bit of that doily print here, right? It's not as vivid as it was here, of course, because the yellow and the purple are just so contrasty, right? You're just not gonna see it as well.
Mhm.
Still gonna give you lots of fun texture though. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit more. Now this plate is getting dry, right? So when you see the paint actually starting to dry on the plate, you'll know you're kind of running out of time, right? So I often think of my prints as being at least, and I got nothing off of that, right? Did you see how I got nothing? But I'm not worried about this plate because honestly, if I just go ahead and put another layer of paint over top of this layer, I might get the purple underneath. Does that make sense? Anybody? Do you know what I'm talking about? So I'm actually just gonna put, do you see the purple that's on here?
Yeah, it's pretty.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put another layer of paint over top of that, and I'm gonna make a print, and it might be possible that I get that purple to stick. It's almost like it sticks to this next layer, okay? So do you see how I'm covering this purple layer? I used kind of this nice cream color. It's like a pretty color. And I put it on fairly thin, right? And I might take this cream color and add a little bit of to my other, right, to my other pieces of paper, because I literally have now around me like a lot of artwork. So this is kind of how I like to just sort of use the paint and use my space. So I added this. Oh, now they're blending. So let's see what we get. We kind of blended it. When I first put it on, it didn't blend. And it's actually better when it doesn't blend. Hold on a second. I'm on Zoom. Oh, you got a prayer? What you doing? Hold on, Harmony's coming in. All right, so I'm gonna try to see what I get off of this plate. So I'm gonna make a print here. I put that cream on that purple. Let's see what I got. And I'm hoping to actually get, now sometimes it's fun if you pick your plate up like this, you should be able to see from the back maybe what's gonna come off. Oh, and look, I did get a little bit of that purple, and I got a little bit of that. You wanna say hi? Harmony's here, she's saying hi. Say hi to Harmony.
Hi,
Hi.
Harmony.
Hi, Harmony.
So can you guys see that I did actually get a little bit of that purple that was,
Yeah,
like, I didn't wash it away. I just added another coat to it. And then technically I got like 2 for 1. Does that make sense?
yeah, nice, very
Okay.
nice.
So look, this is where we're at now. We got these two. I still think that this one is like the most interesting one so far, just because it's the most vivid. But I actually like this one too. All right, so now I'm gonna try to do something a little bit more like designy. So I'm gonna use this green and white. I'm gonna leave the little bit of purple that I had on there. I'm gonna make a pretty color. So I'm actually gonna make like green. And look, you can blend your colors right on the plate, right? So I'm gonna make a new color. I'm gonna do green, yellow, and blue. I'm gonna kind of make like a lighter green, like a prettier, vibrant green. Now I definitely have too much paint on here, and I know that I have too much paint on here because I see my brayer just kind of, it's almost like when you're slipping in the slush, right? You can kind of tell that there's just too much paint on there. So just go ahead to another piece of paper and just sort of extend out your paint, because you want them to be on the fairly thin side. But these greens, both are very pretty. I mean, make sure that you like your color, right? Because you can definitely tweak your color so easily by adding just a little bit more paint. You can add like a little bit of another color. You could even do a gradient, right? Everybody knows what a gradient is, right? So you could add like a lighter color at the top and make the top lighter, right? So you could split your canvas too, right? So I just made the top a little bit lighter. I just added some lightness. All right, so I'm gonna use a couple of these guys, right? So this one is gonna just do, like, it's gonna actually just do like a squiggle, right? Okay, this can be the squiggly one. So these are fun, they're just textures, right? We could do the string on here, sort of abstract. And again, like, you could find a bunch of stuff around your house and put them just on the jelly plate or into the jelly plate and have some fun. You know, nobody's gonna really know what it is except you. It can be your own little secret, you know, all the stuff from your knick-knack drawer, right? So I'm gonna put the feather. So I put the feather down here. All right, I'm gonna leave all that stuff on there. And I'm gonna use, I could do the purple background. I'm just gonna do a white. I'm just gonna make it really nice and bright. I'm gonna do a nice white background. But honestly, like this one, this really pinky one with the polka dots, I'm gonna go for the stripe. So I'm gonna blend these two prints together. So you never know, when you blend two together, you never know what you're gonna get. So we'll be surprised because we're making like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh, but look how cool. Look, we got the contrast, right?
Yeah, very pretty. Look at that.
Right,
Nice.
so we got the yellow and pink and blue behind our little green swirlies. And I like that. I like the 2D effect of that layer. All right, and for this one, we're gonna do the string and the feathers, and we just laid all that stuff right on the jelly plate. We put the paper right on top. We rubbed it with our hand. And then I'm gonna pull it up. Oh, and look, it's very minimalistic, right? So there's like just a lot of empty space because all of those objects blocked the paint. But if I pull the things out of the paint and I lay it down in the same position, I'm actually gonna be able to get the positive of those textures. So let's see if I did it. Meaning I'm gonna get the other side of the feather. Oh, it got a little dry. But remember, what happens when it gets a little dry? What can I do?
Get it.
I can put a lighter contrasty color on top of the plate. And I can hope, look, I'm gonna try to pull them. I'm gonna try to pull them both up, right? Let's see if I can pull them both up. And I'm gonna, so it almost is like, it's like the bottom layer dry, and then you're gonna like, and almost catch it. You're gonna try to like catch it with the other layer. Let's see if we got it. And we're almost out of time. So hold on, let me see if I get it. I'm gonna rub it. So my idea is I'll have that green stuff underneath with the cream behind it, and I'll make like a sandwich, right? almost like a reverse flip. It's a back flip. Oh, I got a little bit of it. I did. Oh, I got a little bit of the texture of the string and I got a little, do you see? I got a little bit
Oh,
of,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, that is so pretty.
I
That
know,
looks almost like underwater.
it does, and it kind
That's
of looks like,
beautiful.
you can, it looks like a fossil. Can you see how it looks like the
Yeah.
string is sort of like fossilized in here?
Mhm.
It's
They
so
could put some fish in there, it'd be an aquarium.
Right, so you could use these jelly plate prints for backgrounds, you know, they can be collages. They can be a lot of different things. I mean, and again, like, or you could draw on them with little markers, you know, after you kind of do them. These are very spring-like. I love the colors that we did. I'm gonna do one more. Let's do one more just for fun. I'm gonna do something to this. So does anybody have a contrasty color that they think would look good on this? What
Hmm.
about red, orange? Orange or, oh, I could do light green
Mhm.
or blue, dark, no, not blue. I
Like
could
green.
do light green, okay. So, and I'm gonna, oh, and I can make the color a little bit lighter. Oh, wait, what can I mix to it? I'll make it a little bit lighter. And so I'm looking for that contrast, right? So I want to do something that's going to have an open space to it. Let's see, what do you think I should use? Now we know that the big thick lines work well, right? Now I can make this into a gradient too. So how do I make the gradient? I put a little bit of a darker color at one end, right? And I'm trying to get my paint nice and flat, right? And thin and flat, right? Even Steven with the paint. I can go a little bit darker. I can add some dark blue
I'll
down
be
here.
right back.
What other color could I add to green? What other color can you add to green? What other color? Brown, I could add brown, I guess. Ooh. That's interesting. Okay, I added a little bit of brown, just for contrast, I guess. All right, so I know that if I do something bold, I'm gonna get hopefully a negative space. Let's see. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, that's busy. All right, let's see. I don't know if I like it. I don't know. Now I might Easter egg. Oh, actually, yeah, I kind of like it.
Yeah, nice.
I know. Let's see if this one works. Oh, that one kind of looks cool. Oh, that one looks underwatery too.
Yeah.
This one looks like
pretty.
a comb. This one looks like a comb. All right, well, I guess we should end there. I'm sad to go, you guys. Oh, that one looks cool with the black lines underneath. Oh, green for days. Look at all these greens. All right, so I'll upload this last video and I will go to the senior center on the 4th of April to pick up everybody's work, okay?
Okay.
Okay, any questions? Any questions? I hope you guys enjoy your jelly plates and make lots and lots of beautiful
Wow, that was a great
collages.
demonstration.
So I have a question, real quick question.
Of course.
I didn't realize that when you do it with a jelly plate, you're always supposed to do it really, really, just a little bit of paint and roll it all flat. Because what I was doing was putting some paint on the jelly plate and then just push it, then putting the paper on and then spraying it to make it. I'll show you what it looked like.
I like the paint as thin as possible on the jelly plate. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the prints just become all about the texture of the paint and they don't have any form. So if you want to get a shape, you have to have thinner paint. If you don't care about if you want it to be blobby or more organic, the shapes, you don't have to make it thin. But if you want a sharp image, any texture, any drawing, the paint has to be very thin, or else what happens when you make the contact with the paper is the paint squishes out.
Okay, thank you.
So if you
Yeah.
want to do a line or like we did with the doily or any type of imprinting or feather, any type of object on there, you need the paint to be thin or the paint will just not hold a line.
Leah,
Yes.
do we leave our work at the desk or take it to Edwina?
I think you can just leave it at the desk and put, you know, home art mixed media home project, or you can put my name, Leah, or Edwina's name on it, and we will get it.
Okay,
Front desk. I'm gonna say front desk. Drop it off at the front desk.
okay.
Okay.
Okay?
It's
And
been-
thank
Is
you.
that okay? Drop it off at the front desk.
Yes, it's okay at the front desk.
Okay, front desk. Right.
It's been a
And
pleasure.
it's been a pleasure getting to know everybody. I enjoyed our 10 weeks together. I think of you all very often. And if you're ever in North Philadelphia, let me know. You can come visit my classroom, or
Where's your classroom at?
I'm on 11th and Cumberland.
Cumberland?
Yep, one block over from, what am I one block over from? Allegheny. On 11th, on the corner of 11th. I'll send you my address, Edwina, but if anybody, you guys can email me or contact me. So you have my phone number. So feel free. If you have any questions, let me know.
Okay.
Thank you, Leah.
Okay,
All
and
right,
I'll keep in touch with you about the final art piece. I can't wait to see everybody's work together. You guys
All
are
right, thank you, guys.
talented. Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I'll miss you guys.
All righty.
Too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.